Another challenge Australia has to address over the next decade is the massive shortage of housing which we have. As it happens, I'm a member of the government's National Housing Supply Council, and this time last year we released our first report showing that on the basis of a bottom-up estimate constructed, as you can see here, Australia had a shortage of about 85,000 dwellings between underlying demand, driven by the number of households in the country, and the number of dwellings actually available for release. Housing activity is also going to be stronger in 2010, although recent data on housing finance suggests that the upswing evident in these charts is probably now running its course, and we won't get much more than about 150,000 dwelling starts in 2010. That's the best number since 2004, but as I'll argue in a few minutes, it's still well short of what we require to make meaningful inroads into the shortage of housing that I regard as one of the major problems facing Australia over the next few years. But at least for the next 12 months, housing will be something, along with resources related and other forms of business investment, that will be driving economic growth. The Reserve Bank needs to raise the cash rate by another 1 and possibly 2 quarter of a percentage point increments. They don't need to do it month by month now, and I suspect that they will pause in May, having raised it in 2 consecutive months, but I think there will be 2 more increases in official interest rates by, say, September of this year. Lending for housing has dropped in each of the 5 months since interest rates started going up in October last year, for which we have data. So I think the increases in interest rates in the pipeline will have a sufficient impact on the economy, and moreover, this is going to get worse as long as our population continues to grow at a rapid rate. The real reason for the housing shortage is that dwelling completions have failed to keep up pace with the acceleration in our population growth. So as one crude measure, the number of new dwellings completed for each 1,000 increase in the population during 2009 was the lowest in more than 40 years. And as I say, it will get worse, putting upward pressure on prices unless governments do things to increase the supply of housing, e.g. by reducing upfront charges on developers, building more houses themselves, or doing something about zoning requirements that make it increasingly difficult to build higher density housing in our urban areas. If they don't, then house prices will continue to rise at rates that force people either to take on levels of debt that they might not be able to service going forward, or alternatively to give up on the long-standing Australian aspiration of home ownership.